welcome to the latest episode of our new TV program, Delaware Labor TV. My name is Rachel Turney, and I'm the Deputy Secretary for the Delaware Department of Labor. It is my pleasure to represent the department as we talk about some of the important work our department does to support workers, employers, and job seekers across Delaware on a daily basis. As many of you know, the Delaware Department of Labor is comprised of more than 500 dedicated public servants who are committed to making Delaware the best place to work and conduct business in the United States. For those of you who have used some of our services, whether they're in person or online, you're probably familiar with the fact that we're made up of multiple divisions and offices that exist to meet almost every need of Delaware's labor force. Whether that means providing employment and training resources to job seekers, or providing comprehensive statistical information to help employers and job seekers make informed decisions, we're a vital partner in the communities in which we serve. Our mission is to connect people to jobs, resources, benefits, workplace protections, and labor market information. We help promote financial independence, workplace justice, and a strong economy for our state. To learn more about what we do, visit our website at labor.delaware.gov. Now, in my role as Deputy Secretary for the department, I have a unique perspective on how the work gets done at our 4 American job centers. We have them in Wilmington, Newark, Dover, and Georgetown. I see firsthand how our programs and services benefit Delaware residents. When I see an opportunity to improve our relationship, I have a fantastic team of people who help make that happen, all for the benefit of our neighbors. Now, how is this relevant to today's show? I get to showcase one of our divisions, the Division of Industrial Affairs, or IA. To help me do that, I have a team of people who will talk to you. The Division of Industrial Affairs has a dedicated staff that addresses a range of issues from workers' compensation to occupational safety information to wage information and anti-discrimination laws. IA is where the law helps the worker and educates the employer about compliance. Today, we have some experts who will help break down what the division does on behalf of Delawareans. When we return from the commercial break, I will be joined by Industrial Affairs staff, Kelly Jones, Gina Martinez, and Sue Justison. They will introduce us to the various areas in which they work and how those areas may impact you. Heading to break, I want to remind you about the Delaware Department of Labor's Did You Know campaign, which is happening across Delaware on radio, television, and billboards. During today's commercial break, you'll see several of those spots. Please take a moment and review them and follow up with contact information on the screen to learn more about what we can offer you. As Secretary Hubbard likes to say, it is our mission to connect people to opportunities. We need to meet you where you are. That's why we're partnering with DETV to showcase all the resources that fellow Delawareans should be aware of. We believe it's incredibly important for you and your families to know that you have support in the Delaware Department of Labor. To echo Secretary Hubbard's message from last month's show, we want you to see us as your community partner in all things workforce and employment related. And with that, we'll be right back.
It is our job to help all Delawareans find gainful employment, and we do that every day.
Delaware JobLink combines powerful algorithms with unmatched personalized service, matching qualified employees to the employers who need them.
It really does make the recruiting process easier.
Post your job opportunity for free. Our specialist and live chat can help you create the perfect post.
JobLink helped me find the job that I have now, and that's the job that I love.
The Delaware Department of Labor and JobLink, here to help.
Welcome back to Delaware Labor TV. Today we have a great opportunity to explore some of the wide-reaching work we do in support of wage earners across Delaware. It's my pleasure to welcome Kelly Jones from Industrial Affairs. Welcome, Kelly.
Hi, Rachel. Thank you for having me.
Tell us what you do at the department.
I am the Community Relations Coordinator for the Division of Industrial Affairs.
Ooh, what does Industrial Affairs do?
Oh, that's a great question. So the Division of Industrial Affairs serves as the connection between Delaware employees and employers with the goal of educating Delaware labor laws while enforcing worker rights.
And Industrial Affairs and our services and resources, they're statewide, right?
They are statewide, correct.
Who is the normal customer that you interface with?
Oh, that could be anyone. That could be an employer, a small business, or corporate. That could also be an employee. It could be a teenager wanting to retrieve working papers so that they can start working. The list varies.
So we serve everyone, essentially.
Pretty much.
Wilmington to Del Mar.
Absolutely.
I should say Claymont to Del Mar. What should Delawareans know about the Division of Industrial Affairs and Department of Labor?
So the Division of Industrial Affairs is a great unit. We currently have 5 offices that service a multitude of resources, including workers' compensation, construction enforcement, wage and hour, OSHA, and the Office of Anti-Discrimination.
All right, so let's think of some examples of why somebody would get in touch with us. I'm going to make up some, and you tell me if I'm right.
Okay.
True or false. So I am working, and my employer is having some type of negative impact on me, and I think it's based on one of my protected classes. So this is discrimination. Should I contact the Department of Labor?
Absolutely.
Good to know. I didn't get my paycheck. And my employer says they'll get to it. They're having problems right now. But they haven't gotten to it in a month. Should I contact the Department of Labor?
Absolutely.
I'm an employer who I'm not sure if this minor on my work site should do a certain activity. Should I call before I assign them to do it?
Absolutely.
Good to know. So that's what you mean by the resources.
Correct.
Kelly, tell me what you like about your job.
I love the fact that I get to work with a great team collectively across the state. We really strive to serve the community, especially with the individuals who are underage, those who have been previously incarcerated, those suffering from substance or mental health issues, as well as migrants or immigrant workers. It feels great to work with such an It's amazing to work alongside of other organizations within the community as well as other state agencies so that we can build our support system and create a more equitable labor market for Delaware.
Spoken like a true public servant. I'm happy that you're on board with us. This is how we do serve Delawareans. It's really through individuals like you, staffed in our centers and across the department that truly are mission-driven, wanting to help provide equity in our state, in the workplace, and just really serve employers and Delawareans. Thanks, Kelly.
Thank you.
Well, this was a really good conversation with Kelly. I really appreciate you being on here. Next, we're going to have Gina Martinez and Sue Justison to dive a little bit deeper into their roles in the same Division of Industrial Affairs. Thanks.
The Delaware Department of Labor connects you to jobs and resources to promote financial independence and workplace equality.
Our mission is to help Delaware's economy go from survive to thrive.
How do we do that? By playing matchmaker. Delaware JobLink is powered by our dedicated and skilled team, and they connect job seekers to employers and Delaware businesses to qualified applicants. Go from a job to a career. Explore the trades and manufacturing. The Delaware Department of Labor.
There is help, there is hope.
And here is where you find it.
Welcome back to Delaware Labor TV. Today we have another great opportunity to explore some of the work that we do at the Delaware Department of Labor in the Division of Industrial Affairs. Joining me now is Sue Justison and Gina Martinez. Sue, let's start with you. Welcome. Tell us about what you do at the department.
Thank you, Rachel. I am the Supervisor of Operations for the Office of Workers' Compensation.
Ooh, what should we know about workers' compensation?
There is a lot to know about workers' compensation. I think the biggest thing is to know that injured workers do have a resource if they find that they don't know what to do. When you get hurt at work, it's the first thing you need to do is to report your injury to your employer. Their responsibility at that point is to, one, have workers' compensation insurance. That's very important. And any employer who has more than one employee is required to have workers' compensation insurance, with the exception of farm workers and some independent contractors. But the general population should have the insurance. And once you report your injury to your employer's responsibility at that point is to report that injury to our office and then also to their carrier. The insurance carrier at that point would pick up any benefits that would be due, whether that's total disability, partial disability, wage replacement. There's benefits for permanency if you ever have an injury and it results in a permanent disability or limitation, for disfigurement, as well as any death benefit. I think that it's important that people know that if the process works well, if your injury is accepted by the carrier and your treatment is reasonable and necessary and everybody perceives it as that, then everything is fine and we never hear from you. On average, our office receives about 250 reports of injury every week.
Wow.
And only about 25% of those result in a petition being filed. The only time a petition is filed is when something breaks down. If the carrier or the employer feels that the injury did not happen at work, or if they feel that the treatment is not reasonable and necessary, then they may deny compensation or deny any reimbursement of treatments. If that happens, then we are a resource for that. You're able to file a petition. And what that petition does is say that I disagree, and I want a third party to make a determination on that, and that would be our office. So the petition would come to us. Once a petition is filed, there's a pretrial conference. If you're represented by an attorney, if a claimant is represented by an attorney, they would not need to appear. Their attorney would handle everything. If you do not have an attorney, you would come to our office for that conference. And then we kind of take information as far as what outlines your complaint. What it is that you're looking for, why you feel that way, and then we would advise you. We have specialists that would advise you on the process. We do not have attorneys on staff. We do not, and our specialists are not attorneys. If you want an attorney, and we always recommend that a claimant get one, you would need to then contact one to represent you. Once that pretrial conference is completed, a hearing is scheduled. So hearings typically for wage replacement is 120 days, is scheduled within 120 days from that pretrial conference. Other issues are typically a little bit longer. And then once that hearing, you come to the hearing and you're going to need medical testimony. That would be via deposition or a provider would appear live before our the Industrial Accident Board. The Industrial Accident Board is made up of, it's an administrative board. It's made up of just lay people who are appointed by our governor's office. They would hear both sides and make their determination based on how our law is written.
So that's a lot in workers' compensation.
It is a lot, and that's really just a bit.
Yeah. When you said carrier, that means insurance carrier.
I'm sorry, yes, it does.
No, that's okay.
And
so the requirement in Delaware is that most employers have to have a separate insurance covered to protect their workers who get injured on a job.
Correct. They would need a rider to their policy.
Just like employers provide maybe healthcare insurance that employees access. It's an outside company that provides the coverage and makes the payments for workers' compensation should a worker get injured.
That's exactly right. And that information is to be posted in your workplace, either typically it's in a break room or by the time clock. But no, they definitely have to post it, and that is who provides the benefits. Yes.
So if a worker did not know who their worker compensation insurance carrier was for their employer, should they call us and ask, or?
Absolutely. We have a resource online, but we welcome all calls. We'd rather people know what their rights are and what the process is.
Thank you. Next, I'm going to turn to Gina Martinez. Gina, welcome. Tell us what you do for the department.
Thank you. Hi, Rachel. My role is a safety consultant for the state of Delaware, and we provide safety and health consultation services to Delaware employers that have 250 or fewer employees in the general industry, construction, and agricultural sectors.
I heard you say the word consultation or consultant. That is a little bit different than enforcement, for example.
Yes.
Tell us how you interface with OSHA, as a lot of people know, and your role compared to them.
Okay, so we are totally independent from enforcement. The only time that we or our department would escalate to OSHA federal enforcement is if it involved imminent or serious injury and the employer refused blatantly to correct the hazard.
Good to know. So if I'm a worker and I'm concerned about some health or safety hazard on the job, I can still contact you and you'll give me some guidance?
Well, you could contact us. That's not where we would direct you to go. But we do get a lot of phone calls from employees, and we would vet them to the proper authorities with OSHA Federal Local Office here in Wilmington, Delaware.
Good to know. Let's talk about what we do, and that's that consultation piece. Can you show up on an employer's site, or what's the process to get that consultation for a safer workplace started?
So we only go to a Delaware employer's establishment if they fill out what's called a request for assistance. So we can only show up at an establishment if we're invited.
Gotcha. Can you give me an example of an employer, not by name, but an employer, maybe what you helped them improve in recent times?
So we have several that fall in that category. One would be program assistance, so that they could be in compliance with things like bloodborne pathogens, fall protection. These type of potential hazards at the workplace require what's called a written program, and it's accompanied by theory and practical training. And so that's one area that we could assist in and help reduce injuries for the employer.
So this is a proactive service really for employers to help protect their workplace and their workers to make it safer.
Definitely. We are all about prevention, and usually what I say is if OSHA enforcement has showed up at your establishment, something has already happened.
Right. And that's what we want to avoid.
Yes.
Good to know. Can you tell me about the new program that's going on right now, the SafeDE?
So SafeDE, you can go to the website safede.delaware.gov. It's currently offered in Spanish and English, and our whole approach and goal is to have a safer workplace for Delaware employers. It's a free service, the consultation. We also provide training and education if they request it, also at no cost, and it's totally confidential, and again, we are independent from enforcement.
Good to know. Thanks, Gina.
Thank you.
I'm going to go back to Sue and just ask you a question. And Gina, I'm going to ask you this too so you can start thinking. What do you like about your job and working for the department?
I think mainly I just like helping people, giving people the knowledge. When I first started at workers' compensation, I'm embarrassed to say I was ignorant of any of it. I did not know there was a state resource that I could go to if I was hurt at work. I thought you just went to your employer and whatever they did and offered, that's what I had. I like educating the public when claimants come in, or even employers call us. It's just nice to be able to provide them with accurate information on what they are responsible for.
And Gina?
I love that our team provides a service that is very unique, focuses on the small business employer, and everything is free and confidential, and so many people don't know it. And I just want to get the word out that safety is here. We've been around a long time, and what are you waiting for?
Right, exactly. Well, thank you so much, Sue and Gina, for joining me today and providing a wealth of information.
Thank you.
As we wrap up, I hope the information that we shared about the Division of Industrial Affairs helps open up possibilities for you or someone you know to collaborate with us to improve workplace lives and experiences. I hope that today's show was helpful to you as a resident of Delaware. We look forward to seeing you next time when Secretary Hubbard will be back in this chair talking about more important issues at the Delaware Department of Labor. Until next time, thank you for watching. Be sure to follow us and stay connected on our YouTube channel, Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And for more info, go to labor.delaware.gov.